Hi, and welcome to Death in Cambodia, Life in America, a podcast where I interview my father, Robert Chow, one of the first survivors of the 1970s Cambodian genocide. He survived the killing fields, navigated through the jungles of Thailand, and escaped to America to build an empire in the donut industry. After about 40 years, I think it's about time he got a chance to share his story. I'm Dorothy, his daughter, and your host for today's episode. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Death in Cambodia, Life in America. I've got Robert Chow here, and in continuation of our last episode, we spoke about how he had found he had a friend that he had left underneath the tree, and when he came back to see the body was gone. We talked a little bit about how every day he heard bombs, how people were trying to escape every day. It was a very, very dark time. And at that time as well, he thought he had suicidal thoughts. I mean, it seemed to be a point where it was better to die than it was to live. And he felt stuck, but there was nothing really he could do. So, in continuation of that, Ba, welcome back.
Yeah, hey everybody. I think last time I mentioned about the my feeling was so horrible, and I'm stuck in the between life and death, and I know what to decide. But everybody, I think, feels the same way. For my group. Most of them is 14 to 16 years old, boy. They just don't know what to decide. I think, they just continue to live whatever they can to survive at that time. After, a couple of days, I believe at that time was around March and April. It was rice harvest time. I got sick pretty bad. I couldn't breathe. I believe I had asthma. It's pollen, at that time. It's quite a bit. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, and I have asthma too, so it runs in the family, something that you've always struggled with.
Yeah, and then I got sick, and then I couldn't breathe. I couldn't go to work. Just laid down in a camp in the forest, and for 2 days.
You always had asthma.
Always.
Your whole life.
Yes.
But this is the first time that it got really, really bad?
Was that? Really bad.
That spring, it was really, really bad.
Yeah. Especially since every March and April, at the harvest time.
Yeah. How did you deal with it before? I mean,
before the communists.
Yeah. During the communist period, though, you just basically had to suffer through it. I mean, you just had to keep working.
Yeah. And after a couple of days, lay down in a camp, and they moved me to the temple that's close by there, so I can have some medication. It's traditional Cambodian medication.
Did you remember that medication to be?
It's just like a black color of all kinds of root, grind it to a really fine, but most of them is a root and leaf, and then mix with the sugar. All their medicine is all have sugar in it, and then they dry it. But I don't care. I just take as much as I can get, because they have some sugar in there. It really help. I mean, so it did help because of the sugar. My body needs sugar because, don't have enough food. And so sugar has helped at that time. It helped quite a bit, but it's not going to help my asthma my asthma is still pretty bad.
Yeah. And for people who don't know what asthma symptoms really are, you can't breathe.
You cannot breathe. I think it's just like you just cannot breathe. They try to get the oxygen because your lung is just
contracted.
Yeah.
And generally, people who have asthma symptoms, you have to carry an inhaler. I have to carry an inhaler at all times. Same with you, Ba. And so you're in the jungle too, right? So this is even more pollen.
Oh.
You have no inhaler back then.
You have no idea without the inhaler medication. I think it just, you just like feel like a suffocate yourself.
Suffocating, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were in the temple and they were giving you this, it's something to eat, right? It's like a medication you eat.
Yeah, and then they feed you, like I said, when find out to keep them, kill all of these people. It's not going to happen them because, you got less people to work. Then they start feed you a little bit more. So what I mean by feed you a little bit more, I think like 100 gallon of water, they usually put like 2 kilo of rice. So now 100 gallon of water when they boil it, and then they just go ahead and put maybe 5 to 10 pounds of rice. So you get more rice, instead of just pure water. So, which is help quite a bit. I mean, for, everybody having more energy. So I was pretty okay. I mean, you give you like, it's no breakfast. It's just lunch and dinner and just no rice and water. I mean, salt. Yeah, they give you a spoon of salt. So I was staying in that temple for a few days. Then you got a lot of sick people coming in and sick. So I think, and then they release whatever they want to send you. So I think at that time, and they just released me to another city called Montgomery. That's the city is pretty. That's where I was grew up, and then they sent me by the called Teco in Cambodian. That's just the 2 big wheel. The 2 sides are pulled by 2 cattle. Yeah, so.
I'm surprised that they even put in the effort to like send you away. I mean, wouldn't they just, if you're sick, wouldn't they just let you die?
They, like I say, they realize now they just try to use, to experiment too on their medication, and then they just give you all kinds of stuff and just try and see if it works.
And they realize that if they just left everybody to die, then they have no more workers.
That's right.
So now at this point, now that if people start getting sick, they put a little bit more attention into trying to maybe save your life a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, time passed by. I believe they change a little bit. They're changing every day, whatever they want. I mean, whoever that control that group, they can do whatever they want. They want to kill you, they kill you. They want to just let you die. That's simple. Mm-hmm. And it just no paper, no document, no nothing. It just... every day, just like a cattle. It's you just the cattle, and then, guard by 10 soldiers. And then they tell you to turn left, to turn right, to work, to eat, to just no life.
So they sent you on that to Montgomery, and what was there? Yeah,
was the journey. I just lay down on that deco, and then, the guy... I think they transport some rice, to, Montgomery too. It took about, 8-9 hours,
Mm-hmm.
Cattle pull that cart, that wooden cart. It's just very slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I just lay down and under this. It was hot. It was hot. Cambodian was hot. I mean, April. oh my God, humidity is
Mm.
high. And then I just lay down there. I just lay and then, under the sun and just, uh, I was thinking, I think this is it. I mean, and I happy to go, happy to die. And your emotional was all over the place. And then you just thinking, I said, oh my God, I said, in your mind, I said, if I'm dying now, it's probably better than just, and then another hand, you're thinking, oh, parent don't even, I don't have time to say goodbye. It's just all over the place. And then I said, well, I mean, it, it's to suffer, to suffer to live. The life like this and no food and sick and so it just, I was, one moment is happy, one moment it's sad. And then I probably did pass out or I didn't even realize. And then by the time that I woke up, I got in the hospital, in that old hospital in Montgomery. I didn't have water. That probably it
You dehydrated.
Dehydrated, under the
Under the
sun.
sun, yeah. You probably passed out, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy that driving that cat, that wood, and just he didn't care. He didn't know. I mean, he just go ahead and control that cattle. And then I woke up. Yeah, I was in a hospital. This was a very old hospital donated by a Japanese. It's called a Japanese hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name. Was before the communist
Mm-hmm.
regime. That hospital, it's been in that city for forever.
Mm-hmm.
So they got a bunch of called nurse or doctor. I don't think they really know much about medicine, about treat the sick people. The only thing, they carry a big bag, a black big bag. Most of them is a female, and then they just go around and pass the medicine, that herb medicine.
Mm.
So and then they just let you rest. There's no bed, so they put me on the floor. You just stay there, and then there's no, like I said, there's no paper sign or anything. Anyone that they pull in, they just go ahead and, okay, put him on the corner over there on the floor, and that's it. But people die every single minute. But most of them, I see the people that die was starvation. It's no food, lack of nutrition, lack of food.
It wasn't that they were sick, they were just starving.
Yeah.
Historical content. Ooh. Historical content. So at this point, we are experiencing famine, countrywide famine from 1976 to 1977. There's just not enough food for everybody. And everybody is in this, what they call a totalitarian system. And for all you people who don't know what that is, it basically means that they don't allow any opposition from anybody. They have full control over everybody, which is, yeah, basically what is happening here. And so it's not like you can go out and oppose and try to get your own food and try to cook your own stuff, as Robert had mentioned previously. So specifically with medicine during the Khmer Rouge, they basically rejected all types of Western medication. 3 reasons for this. 1, distrust with the outside world. So they just don't trust Western countries, any other countries. 2, as I mentioned, self-sufficiency is what they're really aiming for. And so they don't want to depend on these other westernized chemical medicines. And then 3, doctors were thought to be politically suspicious, which hence they were targeted in the beginning of the Khmer Rouge. And at this point, they're basically, well, you guys know what happens. So health programs were completely halted during the 4-year plan. Everything, all the energy was towards production, agriculture, make more rice. This was supposed to be just the way out. And so under this entire kind of revolutionary hierarchy, they kind of think of people who are dying within this period are actually making an ultimate sacrifice for the revolution. And so people who were sick and dying were really not tended to, really not cared for, because in this really, really intense, crazy, revolutionary kind of mindset, they're thinking that, okay, well, you did your part. If you're sick, we'll move forward, and you have made your sacrifice towards Ankar, which is the party.
In my case, they probably both, because the asthma probably kicked because I don't have a strong
immune system.
Yes.
Yeah, your body's not strong, so to fight your asthma. Yeah.
Yeah. So I stayed there, probably 2 to 3 weeks, and then I saw a lot of things that they tried to use the human to experience their own product of medicine and give you all kinds of stuff. So they use green coconut to inject to your body, try to experiment that coconut juice equivalent to the what you call it, IV. So I did got that. They inject to my vein. The needle used probably 1,000 times.
Is that where you get your?
Oh, that mark there.
That scar.
Scar on the left side here. No, they cut it because I think they inject my the coconut juice. That time, I was passed out. It was so painful. Somehow I just probably pass out. It's just the coconut juice.
Coconut juice is not meant to be in your veins.
No, and then so
I have a question too. So these people here in this hospital, are they part of the Khmer Rouge?
Yes,
they are part of they're the Khmer Rouge doctors.
The Khmer Rouge. I don't.
Or not even doctors. Yeah, no. They're not. They weren't originally there. They're not there to help you. They're kind of.
Well, they try to experiment. They tell everybody we don't depend on any country, anyone, so we can survive and do everything, ourselves. That's what they train all these people. And all these people don't even read and write.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, and most of them, like 16 years old, 18 years old, 20 years old, and then they try to be a nurse, try to be a doctor. It cannot be that way, and then you're gonna kill people left and right because you pull in, you want to do the surgery. That's what my mark here. I believe, I don't know what it was, but they got some kind of infection because
on your forearm right here. On your forearm.
Yeah. So they don't even ask you. I mean, they ask you, I said, what? And they just go ahead and try to use, and then they use a regular knife and cut, surgery. So that's why the scar, I was so bad. They just do everything that they think to to experiment, and how they just try to find out, use you to find out. Just
so
like
in reality, it's almost kind of like a torture place.
it is oh yeah, you can, it's just like a torture place. Well, it's just like a rat, in here, that used for the lab, experiment, they still taking that rat really good, but this one here, they just pull you in, go and bring the green coconut juice and just go and stick into your vein, and then
if you were screaming and it hurt so bad, did they take care of you?
No.
It's not coming out of care.
It's not coming out of care at all. This is no care. I mean, they just go and using you. I mean, I don't know. It's no word to describe. I mean, it's a hospital. It's supposed to be care, but I don't think it's care. They just use you as the torture place.
Yeah.
Whoever the lucky one. So I was staying there, and then I thinking. I said, if I continue to stay here, I can, I'm not afraid to die, but not gonna be die this way here. Stick it in all kinds of stuff into your body, and so painful, and cut your here, cut you there, and then I was decide to escape, because this is no God, no nothing, and then you can pack your bag, and then you just
say. How many people were there?
Oh, it's quite a bit.
And all of them, they're testing the same way.
It's quite a bit. It's all kinds. Some people got flu, all kinds of, and then, so I decided to escape. So one day I was, I'm able to walk, my asthma it's released, because I usually get that asthma probably 10 days, sometime 10 days, and after then it depends on where you are, air, probably not pollen,
that area that day.
And then, so I was getting a little bit better. So one day in the morning, after they gave you medication, I just left my blankets there, everything's there except my small belonging, it's nothing belong, it's just the clothes. You gotta have 2 sets of clothes at that time. So I just took my clothes and just tried to walk outside hospital, because people walking around there too, not too many, but so I'm just start walking a little bit far away, and then I know the way to go back to my mom and dad where they live. It's in Montgomery, and then from Montgomery to the farm where they live, where they took me. It's about maybe 5 to 6 kilometers. It's not that bad.
How many miles is that?
Probably 3 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 3 miles, 4 miles. But you walk slow.
You're sick.
So
they
I just
catch
came.
You, huh?
No, because it's just no system, no nothing. I mean, it just whoever that control you, they know you a little, because they count the head count. But after that, they release that they don't know. Yeah. Even in the hospital, I don't think they really actually know. They might be just, this guy probably dead,
Yeah.
So that's what I able to escape, because I don't see a lot of people die and then they move it and that's it. I mean, they don't have no paper to count, to
keep track of
anybody.
Yeah.
So I left the hospital that morning. It was sunshine. It's beautiful. And then I walked. They got a river, and then they got a small little bridge. And then I just keep walking, and then and I see when I walk above that bridge, and I see the people that, it's all Khmer Rouge too. They caught the fish, along the river. And then after, then they just cook that fish. I mean, I just look, over from the bridge. Oh, my mouth just watering. I just so hungry, because it's so, I wish that I have one bite of that fish. They cook. I mean,
the smell of it.
Oh man, it was, yeah.
You haven't had fish in a really, really long time.
The real food. That means, so I continue walk that, and then I eat. Sometime I walk. I see the cricket. Cricket. Yeah, cricket. So then you just pick up cricket and just eat it along that. Just eat whatever you can find. I mean, then finally, after a whole day, then I got to where my parents live, that the place that they took me,
the place where
from
they
the
originally
beginning.
took you from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mama should be there.
Yes.
Daguche was
yeah,
there.
everybody was there.
Yeah.
So they were so surprised that, but I was so skinny, just skinny and bone. Then Mama just give me food. I mean, try to steal food from the kitchen because she was working in the kitchen. So I think she used gold or jewelry, whatever that she has. She go to exchange, like rice and sugar, just for me. I mean, to cook. And then so at that time I was now I stay in a house with Daiguchi, Amanda, because I cannot go out, because otherwise, if the leader, and that house know that I'm escaped from somewhere, they probably gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Not just me. It could kill the whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a big risk that
to stay there,
to not just harm myself, it's gonna harm the whole family.
Yeah.
So I will stay there for maybe, I don't know, 10 days. Get better, way better, because I had food.
You spent your days hiding with Daiguchi then?
Daiguchi, yeah, we got out at night, and then I remember one time I feel so bad. I gotta have to do something to bring food, and then I was hungry. The whole family was hungry. So in the back of that village, they raise duck. They raise ducks. Behind that, they got a lake. It's pretty good size of lake, so they raise duck in that lake there. So I had some good energy, and my asthma was gone. So I decided to go to steal the duck, because we haven't eaten no meat for a long time. So one day I decided, if I get caught, it's okay. I'm ready to go. But for right now, I'm hungry. I just need to eat something.
Yeah.
So I took the call a bamboo basket that you can put the fish in there.
Yeah.
So I took that, and with my, what do you call it? The chop, the
axe or a shovel or a.
It's not a shovel. It's just like an axe like that. You can.
I think it's an axe.
An axe? No, an axe is like chop. This one is just for dude.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
And you went out and you.
Yeah, I went out to the lake. So pretend just like, because they didn't know who is who, because there's so many ducks in there, and then there's only 2-3 people that watch that duck. So that lake there, I pretend like I go to catch the fish.
the guards didn't recognize you?
No, the guard didn't recognize anyone because they asked me, say, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, guy that sent me to try to
Catch the fish.
catch the fish." So, okay, because it's a pretty big lake.
Place, yeah, big lake. No
So,
uniform.
no
You cannot
uniform.
tell who's who.
Yeah. So, so I went to the water, just try to pretend like
trying to catch a
catch
fish.
fish, and stay there for like a couple hours, and then the duck, so many, and then they just do something. If you just like a fish, just stick it head like this here.
Yeah.
The ducks thought that's a fish, that's a food. They come in like bunch of duck. And what you do, you pull the leg, just pull it down to the
Under
water.
The water.
And then you twist the neck.
Snap the neck. Underwater.
And then they die. So, and then I put into the bamboo basket. And then I stole 2 duck because the basket is only can fit like maybe 3, but you don't want that heavy. And then, so then I pulled 2 duck, put in my basket, and then I have to really, really watch now before I get out of the water and try to walk home.
Right.
I have to stay there and watch and see where all the guard. So the guard at all the other side, sometimes they walk over the side here, and then one time I was so scared because he walked toward me, and he asking me, how you cut your face with nothing, no net, how you do that? I said, oh, I just try to use my hand and then, and push the water lily, to the side and then see everything. So, oh, yeah, it makes sense because I think that a lot of people do that all the time.
Right.
Because there's a lot of water lily plant. So you push the water lily so hard so that the fish is going to stay with the water lily plant there because it's so thick. So he said, oh, you catch anything? I said, yeah, not much. So, and then he told me, he said, don't stay in there too long because I don't want you to stay there too long. I was so scared. He probably going to ask it, hey, what kind of fish, you caught, That's 2 ducks in that bucket, and then you're done.
Yeah.
So he walked. Oh, he was asking here and there. I was so scared.
But he didn't catch on that you were...
No, because you know what?
Again,
it's
no
a different... No system, no nothing. They only know their own group and then, all of that. So suddenly, I think he tried to probably asking me. And then suddenly, the other guy from the other side scream and yell. I said, hey, come in here. I need some help here. This duck is just like... I think it's running out from the... pond. I think, we need to. And the guy just ran so fast. Now, I think this is the best time to get out of the water and walk away because, they're all busy to chase their duck back into the water. So I just woke up and just walk and watch and what was, so I just walk, and then go back, got to the house. I told my mom. I said, oh my God, I think you can get killed.
Okay, guys, hold up here. I remember listening to this part of the story and being like, when was the last time that I had been deprived of a meal like that? When was the last time that I ever had to feel like I had to risk my life in order to eat a plain meal? Well, I guess at that point it doesn't feel very plain, but can you imagine? I mean, really though, the next time that I get a bowl of rice, I'm going to be thankful. I mean, I guess there's some people out there that don't even have that.
But in the meantime, everybody happy too. I said, oh, then we clean that duct, but make sure that we bury that feather too, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So we had, oh my God, it was so good. You know, we just boil it, you know.
You can cook inside your hut?
No, you can. But hey, down to this point here, we just try to, you know, just make sure that
nobody sees.
No smell, out, you know.
Make sure nobody smells it, yeah.
But you can cook it during the day because the light don't cook at night. At night, the light they can see because your house, you can you see through.
You can see the light, you can see the smoke, you can see everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we cook it, you know, during the day, you know, so we had that. Oh, yeah.
Who was there with you at this point?
Sai Gu Chia, Tai Gu Chia, and then Mama, yeah.
Because Say Suk was already somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then Woon Suk was not born yet.
No. So, yeah, it was a great meal. It was a good, heaven. It was heaven.
So you boiled it.
We boil it and put the salt. That's it. Yeah. Everything. It was. I couldn't believe that. So after that, and I think if I'm stay a little bit too long, if they get caught, now this is no good. I don't want to harm everybody get killed because of me.
Hey guys, and thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. I'm actually going to give you a little heads up about next week. So next week, we're actually going to be taking a tiny little step back because right after we finished recording this episode, I couldn't stop thinking about that hospital that he spent his time in, the one that he escaped in this episode. I couldn't stop thinking about what the heck happened in that hospital. What was that thing? And so next week, I'm actually going to be doing a deep dive. We're going to take a little step back. We're going to do a deep dive into step by step, hour by hour, what occurred in there. I think he just kind of glazed over some of the details in this episode. I feel like we missed out on some of the bad parts that he didn't really want to share this time around. So definitely tune in next Sunday. If you guys can, give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. If you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, preferably 5-star if you guys have been enjoying it. And I will catch you guys next week.